English podcast.
Welcome, English learners. You're listening to QLeap English, the place where we read great books, talk about them in everyday conversations, and somehow your English gets better along the way. I'm Mr. Q.
And I'm Naomi. Hi, everyone. We're so glad you're here. You know that feeling? You want to improve your English, but some days it feels like nothing is changing?
Oh, we know that feeling well. And here's what we've learned from talking to many learners over the years. You don't need to study for hours every day. You don't need to be perfect. You just need a little bit every day.
You know, many learners have told me this one thing. They feel like they're not doing enough. Like, if they're not studying for an hour, it doesn't count.
That's such a common feeling. And honestly, that pressure is exactly what stops people from starting at all.
Yes. So today, we want to take that pressure off completely.
A little bit sounds almost too easy, right?
That's what I thought, but there's a book that changed how I see this completely. It's called Atomic Habits by James Clear.
Yes, and there's one idea from this book that comes up again and again in conversations with learners. Small daily actions. They don't feel like much in the moment, but over time, they build something huge.
So today we're talking about consistency.
Exactly. By the end of this episode, you'll see why tiny steps are actually more powerful than big leaps, and maybe you'll want to try something small yourself.
Okay, I'm curious now. Let's go.
Naomi, let me ask you. Before we started this podcast, what did a good English practice day look like for you?
Oh, I used to think a good day meant studying for at least an hour, learning 20 new words, watching a whole video without subtitles.
And how often did that actually happen?
Almost never. I'd planned to do it on Sunday. Then Sunday came and I was just too tired. So I'd say, okay, next week. And next week, same thing.
I know that feeling. And honestly, many learners I've talked to tell me the exact same story. Big plans, zero follow-through.
So what's the problem? Are we just lazy?
No, that's what's interesting. James Clear says the problem isn't you, it's your system.
My system?
He has this line that stuck with me. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems.
You fall to the level of your systems. So my goal was speak English fluently, but my system was nothing, just hoping.
Exactly. A goal is where you want to go. A system is what you actually do every day. And when life gets busy, when you're tired, stressed, or unmotivated, you don't magically become your best self. You fall back to your daily habits.
So big goals without a system or just wishes?
That's exactly what they are. And that's not your fault. No one taught us how to build systems.
Okay, but Mr. Q, what if someone is really busy, like a parent with young kids or someone working 2 jobs? They genuinely don't have 2 minutes some days.
That's a fair question, and James Clear talks about this too. He says if you can't do 2 minutes, do 1 minute. If you can't do 1 minute, do 30 seconds. The goal isn't the time. The goal is showing up.
So even 30 seconds counts?
Yes, because 30 seconds today becomes 1 minute next week. That's the system. You're building the identity of someone who doesn't skip.
That's really encouraging. I've had days where I couldn't even open my phone, but 30 seconds, I can do that.
Good. So how do we build a system? You don't need to change your whole life. You just need to start tiny. James Clear calls it the 2-minute rule.
2 minutes? But I can't learn English in 2 minutes?
You're not trying to learn English in 2 minutes. You're trying to show up. Open your phone. Open your English app. Listen to the first 10 seconds of a podcast. That's the habit. The rest can come later.
So I'm not trying to study for an hour. I'm just trying to open the book.
Yes, and here's the magic. Once you open it, you'll probably keep going. But even if you don't, you still showed up. That's a win.
Okay, I can open my English app for 2 minutes. That feels actually possible.
That's the point. A habit must be established before it can be improved.
Wait, let me connect this to something real. Last week, I tried to listen to a long podcast, 30 minutes. I got 3 minutes in and my brain was exhausted. I felt like giving up.
But you weren't failing. You just started too big. Next time, try 2 minutes, just 2. And if you stop there, that's fine. You're building the habit of starting.
That takes so much pressure off. I always thought if I didn't finish, I failed.
We've all been there. Think of it like an ice cube on a table. The room is cold. You want it to melt. So you heat the room 1 degree at a time. 25 degrees, 26, 27. The ice cube is still there. Nothing has changed.
Right, you feel like nothing is working.
Then 28, 29, 30, 31, still nothing. Most people would give up. But then 32 degrees, and the ice starts to melt.
Oh, so all those degrees before 32 weren't wasted.
Exactly. Every degree was necessary. Every small action was building up. The change felt invisible until it wasn't.
Can I tell you a quick story?
Please.
A friend of mine, let's call her May, was trying to improve her English listening. She wanted to understand the news, but every time she turned on BBC, she felt lost after 30 seconds, so she gave up.
I've heard that so many times.
Then she tried the 2-minute rule. She told herself, just listen for 2 minutes. That's it. The first week, she still didn't understand much, but she kept showing up. After a month, something changed. She started catching words, then phrases, then the main idea.
So she heated the room to 32 degrees.
Exactly. And she told me I didn't feel any progress until suddenly I did.
That's the compound effect. Invisible until it's not.
So my English listening, even when I don't feel progress, I'm just at 29 degrees?
Yes. And the fact that you're here listening to this episode right now, that's another degree. You're heating the room.
That makes me want to keep going.
Good. And here's another idea from the book, one that many learners have told me really helped them. It's about identity.
Identity? Like who I think I am?
Yes. James Clear says every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become.
A vote?
Imagine you're in an election. You don't need 100% of the votes to win. You just need the majority. Every time you practice English for 2 minutes, you're casting a vote for I am someone who speaks English.
And when I skip a day?
That's just one vote for the other side. It doesn't mean you lose. You just need more votes in your favor over time.
I've been saying I'm learning English for years, but maybe I should say I'm an English speaker who's still growing.
That's perfect, because learning sounds temporary. Speaker sounds like who you are.
Okay, I want to try that, starting today.
And this doesn't just work for listening. Think about writing an email in English. Many learners spend 20 minutes staring at a blank page. But what if you just wrote one sentence, then closed the document? That's a vote.
Or speaking. What if you recorded yourself saying one sentence, just one, then listened back the next day?
Yes, the content doesn't matter. The action matters. You're telling your brain, this is important to me.
So what's my 2-minute thing? Open my English app? Listen to 1 minute of a podcast?
Whatever feels easiest. The easier it is, the more likely you'll do it. Research shows that habits stick when they're easy, not when you force yourself.
I think I'll listen to the first 2 minutes of this episode tomorrow morning while I drink my coffee.
See? That's a system. That's a vote. And that's how English gets better. Not in one giant leap, but in tiny daily steps.
I actually feel excited to try.
Good. And before we move to our challenge, let me remind you, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. Small things done consistently are not small. So here's something tiny we can both try this week.
I'm ready.
Pick one English habit, something that takes less than 2 minutes, and do it every day for 7 days.
That's it? That sounds almost too easy.
That's the point. Easy things actually get done. So, what's yours?
I already said it. Listen to the first 2 minutes of this episode every morning while my coffee is brewing.
Perfect. Mine is open my vocabulary app and review just 5 words. Not 20, just 5.
5 words? That's like 1 minute.
Exactly. And after 7 days, we can decide if we want to do a little more. But for now, just 2 minutes, just 5 words.
Okay, I'm in.
And to everyone listening, if you want to try this with us, leave a comment. Tell us your 2-minute English habit. We read them.
And don't worry if you miss a day, just come back the next day, 1 vote at a time. You know, Mr. Q, before we finish, I keep thinking about some of the words we used today.
Oh, good. Which ones?
Well, the first one is consistency. We talked about it a lot, but I feel like many learners hear that word and think, I have to be perfect every single day.
That's such a common misunderstanding. Actually, consistency doesn't mean never missing a day. It means coming back, even after you miss.
So if someone misses 2 days of their 2-minute habit,
They're still consistent because they didn't give up. That's the real meaning.
I love that. Okay, next word, system. Not a big plan, just what you actually do.
Yes, and here's a simple example. My system for English isn't become fluent. It's listen to one podcast while making coffee.
That's so small, it almost feels silly.
Exactly. But silly works. Systems work. Goals without systems are just wishes, remember?
Right. Okay, third word, compound, like interest in a bank.
This is my favorite because most people quit because they can't see the result yet. But compound growth is invisible until it's not.
Like the ice cube?
Exactly. 31 degrees looks the same as 25 degrees, but you're still heating the room.
That metaphor really stays with you.
That's why James Clear is so good. He makes you feel the idea.
Next word, invisible.
Ah, yes, the progress you can't see yet. This is so important for English learners. You might not feel different today, but every listen, every word, every small action, it's there, just invisible.
So don't stop because you can't see it?
Exactly. Trust the process. The melt will come.
Okay, last one, vote.
This one changed my life, honestly. Every small action is a vote for who you want to become.
So listening to this whole episode is a vote for...
For being an English speaker, not a perfect one, just someone who shows up.
I like that. No pressure, just votes.
Exactly. So those are our words: consistency, system, compound, invisible, vote.
And maybe one more? Tiny?
How could I forget tiny? Tiny is the whole point. Tiny actions done consistently compound into invisible progress, and that's how you win.
That's a perfect summary.
Keep those words with you this week, and every time you do your 2-minute habit, remember, you're not just practicing English, you're building a system, you're casting a vote.
And the progress is real, even if you can't see it yet.
Yes. Now let's wrap up. So, here's what we learned today. Small daily actions, even just 2 minutes, they compound into something big over time. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to show up.
And our challenge this week, pick one tiny English habit. 2 minutes, 7 days, that's all.
However you showed up today, listening to this whole episode, that's already a win.
Yes, be kind to yourself.
If you want to go deeper into atomic habits, we have a 15-minute extended version on our Patreon with more concepts and a printable habit tracker. Link in the description.
Next time, we're reading a book about, well, let's just say it's about courage. Speaking English even when you're scared.
Ooh, I'm looking forward to that one.
Me too.
Until then, take care of your English.
And take care of yourself.
Both keep leaping.